Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy.
How can you truly enjoy the meal unless you know the flavor? Welcome back, ABL fans. This is Big Earl, your trusted voice in Action Baseball League analysis, coming at you with our 14th installment of Deep Dive 25. Watch your fingers, because we're about to slice, dice, and dissect all the nuances of this great league. A heartfelt salute to the sports journalist at the Las Vegas Review-Journal for your modern and insightful approach, blending humor with depth in your coverage. Your unique take on the team is as fitting and sharp as a well-played hand of cards. Okay, ABL fanatics, let's do this. Whether it's the Western Wildcards, the Eastern Powerhouses, or the Central Workhorses, we're covering it all. See it for yourself. The Las Vegas Gamblers in the Western Division of the ABC, a team that's mastered the art of the high-stakes game. With a leadership known for its unshakable focus on victory and a knack for assembling a roster that blends experienced aces with promising up-and-comers, they're a force to be reckoned with. Keep an eye on them, folks. Underneath their unassuming exterior lies a strategic powerhouse, always playing to win the ultimate prize. If you're one of those folks who can't get enough of the nitty-gritty, the ins and outs, the ups and downs of ABL baseball, then this deep dive is for you. It's like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You never know what treasure you're gonna find. Grab a flashy cocktail and light up the neon, because we're diving into a team as vibrant and dynamic as Las Vegas's iconic Strip and glittering desert nights.
Question 1. How does the owner's personality and negotiation style influence the team's culture and performance?
Vegas high roller, Terry Vinson bets big on the Gamblers' championship dream. Terry Vinson, the unflappable owner of the Las Vegas Gamblers, is the archetype of steadfast leadership, his demeanor as unassuming as beige wallpaper but his operational style as commanding as a Vegas pit boss overseeing the Saturday night frenzy. Under Vinson's watch for a quarter century, the organization has been infused with a singular ethos: victory is paramount, transcending mere ambition and becoming the fabric of their culture. This drive cascades from general manager Roberto Chodo to the last man on the roster, all steeped in a commitment to hardball of the highest caliber, championship caliber, to be precise. Vinson's negotiation acumen, smooth as a Sinatra melody, keeps the clubhouse cohesive, yet the underlying message is potent and clear. Anything less than a playoff berth will usher an off-season upheaval reminiscent of Viva Las Vegas theatrics. In the city where the stakes are always high, Vinson and his Gamblers are decidedly not in the business of folding. There's no room for that when you're playing to win big.
Question 2. What roles do the front office and coaches play in the team's success or struggles? Are they aligned with the owner's vision?
Rolling the dice, the Gamblers' front office and coaches hold the keys to Vinson's vision. The Gamblers, where the house always aims to win, thanks to an owner who's more concerned about playoff berths than the cost of ballpark francs. Now, let's talk about the pit bosses running the casino floor. That'd be GM Roberto Chodo and his coaching cronies. Chodo, with 17 years under his belt, is a bit of a firecracker compared to Vinson, but hey, sometimes you need a little spark to ignite a winning streak. On the diamond, pitching coach Larry Clark is a reliable blackjack dealer. No tricks, just the basics. Hitting coach Dustin Cronkite? He's the slot machine that pays out in singles and doubles instead of jackpots. And let's not forget bench coach Justin Bartolome, the guy who's as likely to light a fire under you as he is to offer a comforting pat on the back. The crew's got enough years in the game to fill a time capsule, and they're all in sync with Vinson's win now mantra. But let's not kid ourselves. If they don't deliver, Vinson's demanding side might just turn this into a high-stakes game of musical chairs.
Question 3. How does the team's financial health reflect in its performance?
The Gamblers' wallet, high stakes, high hopes, and the odds of cashing in. The Gamblers, where the slots are tight but the wallets are even tighter. With a payroll shy of $5.4 million against a budget capping at $6.5 million, these guys are playing their cards close to the vest. The revenue's a bit of a head-scratcher, almost on par with the payroll, leaving you wondering how much they can really ante up for trades. But hey, don't be fooled by the below-average market size and fan loyalty tags. The house is nearly packed, and interest is spiking like a dice thrower on a hot streak. They've got the fan momentum, but unless they parlay that into postseason bling, they might just go from being a sleeper bet to a total bust.
Question 4. How has fan interest evolved over time, and what does it mean for the team's revenue and player acquisitions?
Fan frenzy. the Gamblers' rising stock and the bet on tomorrow's stars. The Gamblers, where the only thing rising faster than the temperature in July is fan interest. From a humbling 47 on the excitement meter back in 78 to a resounding 61 in 81, it's like the Gamblers finally hit on 16 and drew a 5. This isn't just about buzz, it's about the bottom line: more fans and seats, more jerseys on backs, and maybe even a sweeter TV deal. Sure, their stadium's already 94% full, and season ticket holders are as reliable as a veteran card counter. But here's the rub: all this growing fanfare gives them some extra chips to play with in the player market. Don't expect them to go all in on a superstar though. Their trade cash sits just north of $1 million, meaning they'll be looking for those hidden gems or undervalued players. Yeah, the stakes are high, but so is the excitement. They've got the fan momentum, now it's time to see if they can cash it in for a winning hand.
Question 5. What is the current mood among the fan base, and how could it impact the team in the short term?
The Gamblers' crowd control. When fan mood turns into rocket fuel. The Gamblers, where the fans aren't just showing up, they're showing out. With a fan interest score of 61 that's climbing faster than Elvis's hit records and a stadium 94% full, it's like the Gamblers are throwing a nightly party and the whole town's invited. This isn't just about loud cheers and high fives in the stands, it's like adding an extra man to the lineup. The players hear it, feel it, and heck, they probably even ride that energy wave right into the next base. And let's talk money. Happy fans mean ringing cash registers, from bobbleheads to overpriced beer. If this feel-good fiesta continues, the team might just find itself with some extra pocket money to snag a decent player come trade time. But let's not put the cart before the horse. Fans are as fickle as a slot machine. Right now, the Gamblers are hitting 7s, but a couple of losses or a bad trade could have them pulling up lemons. So, for now, ride the hot hand, and maybe, just maybe, this high-spirited crowd can be the ace up their sleeve.
Question 6. How is the team faring in the league standings, and what factors are contributing to their performance?
Hot hands in the desert. Why the Gamblers are acing the league standings. Look alive, ABL fans, because the Las Vegas Gamblers are cooking with gas. 14 wins, 5 losses, and a win percentage that would make even a casino owner jealous. 737 folks, that's not just a Boeing jet, that's a team cruising at altitude. With a run differential of plus 31, they're more lopsided than a blackjack table rigged for the house. Don't even get me started on their strength of schedule. At 474, they're not just beating the chumps. These Gamblers are legit, whether it's on their home turf or in someone else's backyard. And let's talk momentum, a 7-3 record in their last 10 and a current 2-game win streak. Someone's got the hot dice. Sure, they're racking up runs like a pinball machine, but let's tip our caps to the pitchers, only 58 runs allowed. They're hitting depth out of the park. So, mark my words, if they keep this up, the Gamblers won't just be the toast of Sin City, they'll be the envy of the whole darn league.
Question 7. What are the team's odds of making the playoffs on a divisional and conference level?
Betting on the Gamblers, when playoff odds look sweeter than a royal flush. Hold on to your betting slips, folks, because the Gamblers are looking like a bet you'd want to double down on. With a league-best 25.2% shot at nabbing the Grand Championship and an 81.9% chance of winning the division, they're more reliable than a season card counter. And if you're simply eyeing the prize, the playoffs, well, they've got an 88.6% chance, a percentage that would make even a Las Vegas oddsmaker tip his hat. Now, these are just numbers, and in a game where a foul ball can change fortunes, nothing's a sure bet. But if you're in the mood for wagering, betting against the Gamblers making a deep playoff run would be like betting against a buffet in Vegas. It's just not a smart move.
Question 8. How do base runs and ELO ratings paint a picture of the team's true strengths and weaknesses?
Rolling dice and ELO. How the Gamblers are defying the house odds. Hey, ABL aficionados, get your calculators out because the Las Vegas Gamblers numbers are in, and they're as tantalizing as a Vegas buffet. Base runs? They've scored 89 runs while only expected to notch 87, and they've allowed a miserly 58 runs against an expected 65. Translation: the bats are reliable, and the pitchers are throwing like they've got loaded dice. ELO ratings? They started the year at a respectable 1507 and have hit a hot streak, now clocking in at 1,531.7. That's a 30-day gain of 17.6 and a 7-day jump of 14.3, folks, and if that's not heating up, I don't know what is. Sure, their expected win percentage at 0.635 is a tad lower than their scorching actual 0.737, but let's not nitpick. The Gamblers are a team on the rise, overperforming on the mound and holding steady at the plate. But let's not bet the farm just yet. Keeping that pitching magic alive will be key because, remember, in baseball, as in Vegas, luck can turn on a dime.
Question 9. What does the team's WAR indicate about its most valuable players?
The War Room, where every gambler is an MVP. Alright, pull up a chair, folks, because we're diving into the WAR stats, the baseball nerd's holy grail. The Las Vegas Gamblers are boasting a batter WAR of 3.61, showing they've got sluggers who can do more than just admire their own home runs. On the flip side, their pitcher WAR sits at a not-too-shabby 2.97, meaning the guys on the mound are more than just arm candy, they're clutch. Put it together and you've got a total WAR of 6.58, which in layman's terms means this team is as balanced as a Cirque du Soleil acrobat. And with a wins-minus WAR of 7.42, this isn't a one-man show or a flash-in-the-pan season, it's a team-wide Vegas review, and everyone's playing their part. So, if you're looking for a safe bet in a town that loves a gamble, I'd say double down on the Gamblers. They're not just playing, they're playing to win.
Question 10. How have injuries impacted the team's performance and depth?
Dodging the injury bullet, the Gamblers ace in the hole. Ah, the sweet smell of liniment and not a crutch in sight. This is what managers' dreams are made of. The Las Vegas Gamblers are as fit as a fiddle and twice as loud, meaning they're rolling the dice with a full deck. No patchwork lineups or last-minute juggling acts for these guys. The clean bill of health gives them the flexibility to pull rabbits out of hats, or in this case, wins out of tight games. But let's not kid ourselves, baseball's a marathon with potholes, not a walk in the park. So while they're dodging the injury bullet now, who knows when Lady Luck might decide to take a coffee break. For the moment, though, it's all aces and eights for the Gamblers, and in Vegas, those are odds you can bet on.
Question 11. What do the team's batting statistics reveal about its offensive capabilities?
Swinging for the fences and hitting the mark, the Gamblers' offensive prowess. Listen up, ABL fans. The Las Vegas Gamblers are the offensive juggernaut you didn't know you feared. With 89 runs scored and a .279 batting average, these guys are not just stepping up to the plate, they're owning it. And don't even get me started on that .362 OBP. Clearly, they're as choosy at the plate as a Vegas buffet goer with a VIP pass. They're not just content with base hits, they're racking up 12 homers and 34 doubles, proving they've got both the sizzle and the steak. And talk about discipline, their 13% strikeout rate says they're putting the ball in play more often than a seasoned blackjack player. With stats like a .758 OPS and a WOBA of .353, let's just say if this offense were a Vegas show, it'd be sold out every night. So, pitchers, consider yourselves warned, facing the Gamblers is a gamble you're likely to lose.
Question 12. How does the pitching staff stack up against divisional and conference competition?
Pitching aces or playing with house money? The Gamblers' mound dilemma. Oh boy, grab your radar guns and strikeout signs, because the Gamblers' pitching staff is putting on a clinic, or so it seems. With an ERA of 2.9, they're leaving batters as confused as tourists trying to find the exit in a Vegas casino. But hold on, let's not get too starry-eyed. That FIP of 3.96 and XFIP of 4.14 whispered that Lady Luck might be sitting in the bullpen. While they've got a solid strikeout-to-walk ratio and are masters at leaving runners stranded, a LOB percent of 79.7%, those ground ball percentages and home run-to-fly ball ratios tell us they're not just relying on smoke and mirrors. But, and it's a Sin City-sized but, those advanced stats are the blinking neon sign warning that what happens in Vegas might not stay, at least in terms of keeping those runs low. So, is this pitching staff a sure bet or a roll of the dice? Only time will tell, but for now, they're the ones stacking the chips.
Question 13. Are the team's fielding statistics a strength or a weakness?
The Gamblers' fielding, a mixed bag of gold gloves and butterfingers. Ah, the art of the glove, sometimes the overlooked stepchild in a sport that loves the long ball and the strikeout. The Gamblers are a bit of a curiosity in the field, folks. On one hand, their zone rating, ZR, paints a mostly rosy picture, except for that glaring -1.44 at shortstop, as conspicuous as a bad poker face at the high-stakes table. Overall, a total ZR of 3.58 and a defensive efficiency of 0.73 say this team generally knows how to catch a ball. But those 10 errors? That's like forgetting to tip your waitress in Vegas, tolerable, but not ideal. The shining light? Their runners thrown out percentage, RTO percent, is a whopping 57.14%. That's like hitting 21 in blackjack, baby. Game-changing odds. So, are the gamblers feeling a strength or a weakness? Let's call it a push. They're mostly slick, but have a couple of spots that could use some polish. Maybe not gold glove material across the board, but certainly not handing out games either.
Question 14. What do base running stats say about the team's tactical approach?
The Gamblers' base running, a masterclass in calculated aggression. Listen up, fans of the good old diamond, the Las Vegas Gamblers are basically the Ocean's 11 of base running. With a staggering 81.8% success rate in stolen bases, they're not just running like there's a hot buffet at the finish line, they're doing it with the precision of a Vegas card counter. 18 swipe bags against just 4 times caught is the kind of ratio that should make opposing catchers consider early retirement. Add to that a weighted stolen base, WSB, value of 2.57, and you've got a team that's not just fast, but smart, like a fox in cleats. Whether it's singles, walks, or getting plunked by the pitcher, these guys find ways to get on base and then make the most of it. So, if you're an ABL pitcher facing the Gamblers, don't just worry about the long ball, worry about them stealing the rug right out from under you.
Question 15. Who are the standout performers in batting, and what do their stats reveal?
Gamblers batting aces, from on-base wizards to power brokers. Buckle up, ABL fans, because the Las Vegas Gamblers batting lineup is like a Vegas buffet. There's something for everyone, and it's all delicious. Leading the charge is John Martinez, a 25-year-old right fielder who might as well set up a timeshare on first base with that eye-popping .359 batting average and .426 OBP. But hey, don't let his youth fool you. This guy's WRC plus of 148.85 says he's no fluke. Then you've got the seasoned David Avila, whose .309 average and 7 stolen bases make him a double threat. He's the guy you want in clutch situations, trust me. Add to the mix Mario Smithson and Mike Rabel, who've been lighting up scoreboards with home runs while maintaining respectable averages. Smithson's WRC plus of 116.86 and Rabel's 114.79 tell you they're not just swinging for the fences, they're strategic bombers. In short, this lineup has a blend of contact, power, and experience that should give opposing pitchers nightmares. Gamblers, more like sure bets when these guys are at the plate.
Question 16. Who are the key figures in the pitching staff, and how do they influence games?
Gamblers mound maestros, a blend of youth and experience. Hey, ABL aficionados, if you're looking for a pitching staff that's got more layers than a Vegas magic show, look no further than the Las Vegas Gamblers. Leading the ensemble is Bobby Rodriguez, a 26-year-old wunderkind with an ERA so low, 1.98, it should be a crime. This kid's not just lucky, his FIP of 2.47 and a WAR of 1.59 tell you he's the real deal. Then there's the seasoned Roger Holder, 35 and still throwing darts. His ERA of 2.66 is solid, but that FIP of 4.60 tells me Father Time is giving him a few breaks. As for the young guns, Oscar Herrera and Jalen Taylor, they're like opening acts that sometimes steal the show. Herrera's got a respectable ERA of 3.19, but that FIP is a caution sign. Taylor's still learning the ropes with an ERA and FIP north of 4.9, but hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. Bottom line, this staff's got a blend of Cy Young potential, veteran savvy, and raw talent that could make them the envy of the ABL. Keep your eyes peeled, these guys are dealing.
Question 17. Who excels in base running and fielding, and how do they impact the game's outcome?
Standout showstoppers, game changers in the ABL spotlight. Buckle up, ABL fans. When it comes to show-stopping performances, the Las Vegas Gamblers are like a Vegas residency, consistently dazzling and worth the ticket price. On the batting front, Mario Smithson's April 25th game was like hitting the jackpot at a slot machine. 3 hits, 4 RBIs, and a home run that probably still hasn't landed. The man was a baseball tsunami against the Seattle Comets. Then there's John Dominguez, who put on a hitting clinic even in a loss, and David Avila, who played like he had loaded dice in his bat. On the mound, Rogelio Cole's April 10th game was like pulling an ace out of your sleeve, a complete game shutout with only 2 hits allowed. Talk about aces high. And let's not forget Bobby Rodriguez, whose April 21st gem was cooler than a casino air conditioner. These aren't just players, they're Las Vegas attractions in cleats and gloves. Place your bets on these gamblers, they're turning individual brilliance into team gold.
Question 18. What does the team's age demographic reveal about its experience and future potential?
Rolling the dice on experience and youth, the gamblers' age demographics. Hey, ABL aficionados, ever wonder what's in the secret sauce that makes the Las Vegas gamblers tick? It's a cocktail of grizzled vets and bright-eyed newcomers, all shaken, not stirred. At the MLB level, they're leaning on an old guard with an average age just shy of 29, like they're looking to cash in their chips now. Move down to AAA, and you've still got some seasoned arms ready to step in like a Vegas lounge act. But don't think they're not planning for the future. The AA level is like a buffet with something for everyone, seasoned pitchers and young guns at the plate. Then you hit the A level, and bam! It's the kids' table, especially on the mound, where the average age is a mere 24. So, whether it's a high-stakes game today or a calculated bet on tomorrow, the gamblers have their bases. Make that bets covered.
Question 19. Who has had the best batting and pitching games, and what do these performances signify for the team?
Gamblers' jackpot performances, the best of batting and pitching. Ladies and gents, feast your eyes on the gamblers' high rollers, the guys who've hit the jackpot when it comes to individual performances. Let's talk Mario Smithson first, who went all in against the Seattle Comets and walked away with the house, 3 hits, 4 RBIs, and even a homer, scoring a game score of 74. That's not just luck, that's being the ace in the deck. On the mound, Rogelio Cole was throwing dice and hitting sevens, a complete game shutout with a game score of 92. Then there's Bobby Rodriguez, who against the Denver Rocketeers was as cool as an Elvis impersonator in a snowstorm, allowing just 1 run over 8 innings. These aren't just guys having a good day, these are the marquee names that could carry the gamblers all the way to the Grand Tournament of Champions. Keep your eyes peeled, these fellas are the real deal.
Question 20. What does your gut tell you about this team in the 1981 championship season and the Grand Tournament of Champions?
Rolling the dice, the gamblers' odds in the 1981 season and G2C. Here's the deal, folks. When you talk about the 81 championship season and the Grand Tournament of Champions, the Las Vegas gamblers aren't just playing cards close to their chest, they're holding a royal flush. This team has got that magic brew of veteran savvy and youthful moxie. With Smithson and Avila swinging like they're in a home run derby and Rodriguez and Cole delivering strikeouts like Elvis did hip shakes, this team is solid. But here's the kicker, they've also got the depth and health to survive the postseason grind. When G2C comes knocking, I wouldn't bet against these gamblers. They've got the chips, the cards, and the guts to go all in. So if you're looking for a dark horse, look no further. These guys aren't just playing, they're playing to win.
Question 21. What is the team's history in the Grand Tournament of Champions?
Betting on history, the gamblers' roller coaster ride in the G2C. If the Las Vegas gamblers' history in the Grand Tournament of Champions were a slot machine, it'd be a mix of cherries and lemons. Sure, they got schooled by the Denver Rocketeers in their G2C debut back in '72. But fast forward to 1980, and these high rollers are back at the table, cashing in big against the Pittsburgh Express. Just when you think they're on a hot streak, though, the Houston Mavericks play the role of the casino security, showing them the exit door in the conference championship. So what's the bet for this year? With a roster that's humming like a finely tuned Elvis impersonator, don't be shocked if these gamblers finally hit the jackpot. Time to double down, baby.
Question 22. What is the team's history in previous seasons?
From early bust to late game royal flush, the Las Vegas gamblers' epic saga. Look, the Las Vegas gamblers' ABL tale reads like a Sinatra set list, starts smooth, hits a few low notes, but by the end, old Blue Eyes is crooning my way and the crowd's on its feet. Early on, they were like a high roller flashing cash but losing the shirt off his back. A promising 72 start fizzled, and the mid-70s, let's just say, had the charm of a Vegas buffet at 3 a.m. But like a gambler doubling down on a pair of aces, they clawed back. By 80, they're not just in the game, they're running the table, complete with a division-leading 549 win percentage. And now, in 81, they're hotter than a craps table on a Saturday night, sporting a killer 737 record. So, folks, don't count these gamblers out. They've seen the lows, they're riding the highs, and something tells me they're all in for the big prize.
Question 23. What's your take on last season?
The house always wins. How the 1980 Las Vegas gamblers became ABL's high rollers. Alright, folks, let me lay it on you straight. 1980 was the year the Las Vegas gamblers went from playing penny slots to sitting at the high rollers table. With a record of 89 and 73, they beat the odds and the projections, securing the division crown. Their bats were decent, but their 3.52 ERA? That's like hitting a 7-card straight flush in Texas Hold'em. Even Lady Luck seemed to wink at them with a 262 bobbin. As for the fans, over 1.5 million poured into the stadium, and not just for the $1 hot dogs. Their payroll ballooned to over $4 million, which is Vegas speak for "we're not here to play, we're here to win." They breezed past Pittsburgh in the playoffs, but got outfoxed by Houston. Hey, even Sinatra had off nights. The takeaway? The Gamblers weren't just playing the game, they were changing how the game is played. Keep an eye on these guys, they're just getting warmed up.
Question 24. How does what happened in the 1980 season reflect on the 1981 early campaign?
Doubling down, how the 1981 Gamblers are building on last year's winning hand. Listen up, baseball aficionados. If you thought the Las Vegas Gamblers were just a flash in the pan with their 1980 run, think again. These guys have turned the heat up in 81, starting with a blistering 14-5 record. That's a .737 winning percentage for those of you keeping score at home. And speaking of scores, they've tightened up their pitching to a jaw-dropping 2.90 ERA, making last year's 3.52 look almost pedestrian. The bats? Oh, they've come alive like Elvis in a Vegas showroom, hitting a robust 279. Fans are still flocking to the stadium, and with a starting balance of over $4 million, the front office has plenty of chips to play with. The Gamblers aren't just riding last year's wave, they're creating a whole new tide. So, don't bet against them, the odds are looking better by the day.
Question 25. What is your take on the current roster?
Stacking the deck, how the 1981 Gamblers are turning last year's statement into a manifesto. Folks, sit down and let me spill the tea, or should I say, the odds. The Las Vegas Gamblers are dealing a hand you can't ignore. With starting pitchers Bobby Rodriguez and Oscar Herrera both sporting 4-0 records and sub-3 ERAs, they're more untouchable than a casino vault. As for the relievers, Derek Sanders is closing games like he's locking up Fort Knox, and Marco Montes is setting him up like a seasoned blackjack dealer. No runs allowed. The infield's a hit parade led by David Avila and Danny Herrera, while the outfield boasts Mike Rabel's power and John Martinez's dazzling average. Even with Matt Hurt on the injured list, this team's depth is as rich as a casino mogul. The lineups? Tailored to thrash both righties and lefties. All in all, the Gamblers aren't just betting on a good season, they're stacking the deck for a championship run. So, ABL, ante up, Vegas is going all in. Well, there you have it, your up-close and personal deep dive into the Las Vegas Gamblers. We've dissected their strengths, weaknesses, and everything in between. We've peeked into the owner's suite, dug into the dugout, and even scoped out the fans in the bleachers. And let me tell you, what a ride it's been. Like a well-pitched game, we've covered all the bases, but remember, baseball is a game of unpredictability. Just when you think you've got it figured out, it throws you a curveball. The Las Vegas Gamblers, a squad dealing a winning hand in the regular season with the flair of a Vegas show, but in the Grand Tournament of Champions, they've been akin to a promising but unproven act. The question remains, will they pull off a dazzling finale worthy of the Vegas main stage, or continue to hover as the enigmatic dark horse in the ABL's competitive spectacle? The Gambler's tale is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be a page-turner. Big Earl here, folks. Keep your eyes peeled for future reports as we navigate through the twists and turns of another gripping ABL season. So, whether you're a fan of the Gamblers, or just love the game, the best is yet to come. Until next time, this is the game. See it for yourself. See it for yourself.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world? You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.